scores. Pittsburgh closing in on a 9-7 season, a great comeback year for the Steelers.
Not only we have the best restaurants in California, but also the best football team. Go Rams!
New York is everything they say, and no place that I'd rather be.
I don't think the Giants really hate the Rams. I wish they were playing Philadelphia. Now there's a team you can really hate.
You know what the Rams are going to do? The Rams are going to kick. They're going to kick butt. I think out in New York, you know, I'm going, oh, God, why did we play them? Why did we play them?
Where else can you do 500,000 things all at 2:45?
The Giants are so frightening. It's almost like voodoo. They should have voodoo on the helmet. The Giants are going all the way.
LA knows football.
Yeah, this is going to be a rock-em, sock-em, drag-em-out, knockout game.
Magic, New York is tops in basketball, and they're going to be tops in football also.
Rams Giants coming right up on CBS.
Little conflict to be resolved here at the Meadowlands, where you are now looking live at Giant Stadium as 76,000 of the faithful file in for their first home playoff game since the 1986 NFC Championship. Today, the Kings of the NFC East begin their march against the wild-card Los Angeles Rams as the road to Super Bowl 24 continues here on CBS.
With him this morning as he walked the field just after sunrise.
Ram head coach John Robinson has an almost identical one-loss record as Parcells, but without the same playoff success. I spoke with him as he prepares to try and win a trip to San Francisco for next week's NFC title game.
Well, guys, let's make this perfectly clear. There's only one head coach who's drawn up game plans for summit meetings as well as Super Bowls, and he'll be our special guest today. All that and more coming up on the NFL Today.
Well, welcome to the sunny climes of northern New Jersey. It is an absolutely glorious afternoon for a playoff game here in the Meadowlands, and many of the faithful have already filed on into Giant Stadium here in East Rutherford as the Giants get ready for their playoff game against the Los Angeles Rams. The temperature right now is 38 degrees, expected to climb into the 40s. Wind at 14 miles an hour. Yes, that could be a factor as this game unfolds here this afternoon. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger. Boy, the Los Angeles Rams, they have to feel just absolutely great about what's happened with weather conditions. They arrived here on Friday and worked out at the Meadowlands yesterday to acclimate themselves to the weather, and about the only thing they'll have against them will be this hostile crowd, 77,000 on hand, pulling for the Giants. You know, the Rams are trying to do something that no team in the history of the NFL has ever done, and that is come from the Pacific time zone to the Eastern time zone and come away with victories 3 consecutive weeks. They have put away New England to get into the playoffs, Philadelphia to advance to the divisionals, and now they are a 3.5-point underdog against the New York Giants. And as you make your rounds around this city, a whole lot of folks really like the Rams' chances here today. And I think one of the big factors is because of the weather. Now, let's check in on that Giants story, because the key thing is going to be the physical condition of Phil Simms. It was revealed this week that they probably kept from the media a fractured thumb which was suffered during practice. Now, there's no question about the torn pectoral muscle. He got this when Jeffcoat rammed into him from the Dallas Cowboys. And then I know many of you were watching on Monday night when he suffered the sprained ankle, which did sideline him when Noga accidentally rolled up on him. One thing about Simms, no one ever questions his toughness.
Some of those things sometimes get blown a little bit out of proportion, that he's really hurting. And it does bother you a little bit, but I mean, it didn't bother him enough that it was something that you're going to, say that he can't play, because he didn't miss any practices, and you got to play with those kind of hurts.
Well, we want to get the very latest on Phil, and Will McDonough's been checking that story. Will, what's the latest?
Well, thanks, Brent. As you know, I walked around the stadium here this morning with head coach Bill Parcells, and the first thing I asked him, I said, how come nobody really knew about Sims? And he said, well, we wanted to do two things for Sims. We wanted to protect him. We didn't want the other teams to know that he was injured, so they would come after him. And we didn't want the other opposing defensive coordinators to know that he was limited in his throwing. I also asked him about the gamble he was taking here today, Brent, and that is bringing back kicker Raul Alegre, who kicked for him during the regular season, then was injured and went out. He activated him for this game, but in doing that, he had to let Bjorn Nitmo, who kicked so well from late in the year, go. This means, and here's the gamble, if the Giants win today and go on to the NFC Championship game, if Alegre got hurt, they would have no kicker, and he would have to go out and try to find another kicker. Then there was a nice scene. We walked off the field. We went in the dressing room. Bill and I were sitting there talking. O.J. Anderson, the great veteran running back, come in. He gave Parcells a little box. He said, look at this, coach. And there was a beautiful piece of jewelry with the number 1023 on it. That's the number of yards he rushed for this year. He gave a pendant to each one of his offensive linemen last night in the hotel. The great thing about this story is O.J. Anderson came here 2 years ago for the Cardinals. He was making $700,000 a year. Didn't do much for 2 years. They cut his pay this year to $250,000. He has already made back $400,000 in bonus money. And it's also in that contract, if he plays in a winning playoff game, every time he plays in one, he gets another $25,000. So he has plenty of incentive today. Now let's go to Irv Cross and the Rams bench for a report on the Rams. Irv?
Well, the Rams have plenty of incentive today, too. They come in here on the East Coast the third week in a row, putting in somewhere close to 17,000 air miles. But they soar into this stadium today on the right arm of quarterback Jim Everett, who's had his best year ever throwing the ball for the Rams, passing for over 4,000 yards. When he puts that ball in the air, he's going to his two favorite wide receivers, Willie Anderson and Henry Aller, two 1,000-yard receivers for him. He also has a running back in Greg Bell, who's rushed for over 1,000 yards this year. But when the Rams are on defense today, expect them to employ a three-man line against that Giant offense in running situations. They're in better shape physically this week than they were last week against Philadelphia. But in passing situations, when the Giants have to put the ball in the air, you'll look for that famed Ram defense that they employed last week. 5 linebackers down, 6 defensive backs standing up. And I asked Fritz Sherman, the defensive coordinator, this morning why that defense works. He said, Irv, we've got a lot of quickness on the field in that defense. You have to really be patient against it to beat it. Brent?
All right, Irv, thank you. It is interesting that the last 2 times they have played, the Rams have really put a licking on the Giants, so this indeed could be a revenge game. Let's go up now to the 2 gentlemen who are going to call the action, Pat Summerall and John Madden. Pat?
Well, Brent, you know, when you think about the Rams under Robinson and you think about running backs, you think about a Dickerson, you think about a Greg Bell, you think about Charles White, but the guy who's done the damage has been, as Irv was just saying, Jim Everett, the quarterback.
And you know why? Jim Everett, for some reason, just matches up well against the Giant defense. The Giant defense likes to play a lot of zone, and Jim Everett throws very well against that zone. And if you don't give him a big pass rush, he'll just eat you up.
Have a look at his numbers the last 2 times these 2 teams have played. In '88, that was here at the Meadowlands, 5 touchdown passes. In '89, he had a career high of 18 consecutive completions. So the question then becomes, what are the Giants going to do about that, John?
Well, the thing that they have to do is you have to pressure Jim Everett straight up the middle. You have to get in these lanes right here and get in his face. Now, I think if the Giants are going to get a pass rush, it has to be right here. Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor. Now, you say, well, they come from the outside, but they can do this type of thing. They can move him in, boom, let him come there. They can take him, put him up, let Lawrence Taylor come in there. I think if the Giants are going to have a chance to win today, they have to get to Everett. And if they're going to get to Everett, the big part of it is right on these 2 guys, Leonard Marshall and Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, that's just one of the things that we'll be watching throughout today. Back to you, Brent.
All right, Pat, thank you. Well, there's no question about the security of the 2 coaches here. But finally, last night in Houston, the saga of Jerry Glanville finally came to an end with the Oilers.
I met with Jerry and his wife, Brenda, in my office downstairs for approximately 2.5 hours. And we mutually agreed that Jerry would not come back as our head coach. It's well documented what he's done for the city of Houston with the ill and the homeless. I want to wish both of them the best of luck.
Mr. Adams and I decided today, after 2.5 hours, that one thing we want to do is remain friends for life. And with that, we concurred this was probably the best way to do that.
Did you ever see anything that looked less like a firing than what went on last night in Houston? Well, we're going to come back and talk about the two head coaches here, Bill Parcells and John Robinson of the Rams on the right, when we continue from the Meadowlands in just a moment.
The NFL Today is sponsored by the American Express card. Membership has its privileges. Merrill Lynch, we're bullish on the 90s. And by Acura Legend and Integra, precision-crafted performance exclusively at your Acura dealer.
As Nancy Walsh saves for her son's education, her savings and those of millions like her are invested in business. When business grows, our nation prospers and becomes more competitive in the world, which could open up a world of opportunities in the decade ahead. And who will be there seeking out those opportunities for you and Nancy Walsh? Merrill Lynch. We're bullish on the 90s.
We're looking for a few good men with a medal to be Marines.
Interstate Battery Power starts up strong and keeps on going. To find an Interstate Battery dealer near you,
call 1-800-CRANK-IT. Get the power that goes on and on and on, yeah.
You think my guys are going to be sidelined by a tough sinus cold? Not these Grabowskis. The congestion, the pain, the sinus pressure, as tough as it gets. Maximum strength Dristan is tougher. Dristan unblocks congestion here, sweeps away pressure here and here, knocks out sinus pain, and it won't make you drowsy. That's important. When you're playing with bears, when you can't call in sick, call on Dristan. It's maximum strength relief.
When you think about all the satisfaction you get out of going places, why would you ever want to take anything less than America's most satisfying car? The Acura Integra.
Sunrise at the Meadowlands, and about 7:30 this morning, our Will McDonough was on hand to meet and talk with Bill Parcells, who arrives at the ballpark that early on game day.
This time of year, look at the flags. Nothing up there. It's almost perfect conditions to play a game. You couldn't ask it for a day like today.
Well, it's been pretty nice here all week. Basically, this is what we've had to practice in, and so we're used to it. And I'm glad it's this way because I think it really makes for a better game.
When you get back in the locker room now, you get a certain crew of guys that come in here early. Is that something like repetition every week? The first guy shows up and the second guy, like they're all on time. Do you have any superstitions at all when these guys show up?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm very superstitious, and the players use that against me from time to time. They know that. It's usually, well, Bill, we did it this way that year, and it worked that way, so we have to do it again. But, yeah, Carthen will be the first guy in without question. Sims will be the second guy in without question. Then Bart Oates will be in next. Then probably O.J. Anderson, Doug Riesenberg. They'll probably be the first five. In fact, I'd bet on it.
Now, did you bring the donuts this morning?
Well, I bought the donuts for the Rams defensive coordinator, Fritz Sherman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to do that because it's reciprocal donuts. When we go to the West Coast, I get a dozen, and when he comes here, he gets a dozen.
Okay, tell me what the note says to Fritzy.
Well, I can't really do that on television. It's not, let's say it's not the King's English.
Yeah. I look at today's game and I look at their offensive line. I say, what a challenge for your guys, you know. You sort of live and die by defense sometimes, and these guys are terrific.
Well, that's true, but I'd rather live and die by defense in this league than try to live and die by offense. I think if you have a chance defensively and your team's ready to go in the playoffs, the defense and good kickers give you the best chance to win, and I think we have a pretty good defense, and I know we have good kickers.
You know, you look at their club, and they can run in about 8 guys, right, on offense. All their starters can catch the ball and all that stuff, and they bring guys off the bench.
It's like a brush fire. You know, you put it out one place and it starts up somewhere else. But, you know, that's why they're where they are. And they beat a real good Philadelphia team that we couldn't beat. But today's a different day.
Well, I tell you, it's a meeting of really 2 high-class coaches, Bill Parcells of the Giants and then John Robinson, who's done such a great job with the Los Angeles Rams. And Dick Butkus was able to catch up with John just a short time ago.
John, in order for the Rams to win, what do you have to do offensively and defensively?
Well, we would like the game to be a wide open game. I mean, and I think conversely the Giants would like to keep it as close to the vest as possible. We have to be able to move the ball offensively and I think come away with points when we get inside the 20. They have an excellent defense and I think very good inside the 20. Defensively, we're going to get challenged, first of all, right face to face. I think that's going to be important. Our 2 defensive ends that played last time are not playing now, so we've got some problems there. We got to stop their initial come right at you phase and then play against Phil Simms, who's probably as good throwing against zones and the checkoff things as anybody. And if we do those 2 things, I think defensively we'll be all right.
You know, they've got an awful big offensive line, and you've got so many linebackers playing on defense. I mean, is there going to be any new wrinkles on defense?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we'll adjust some things that we do, but I think the key to the game will be on first down. Do they knock us off the football? They're a big line, but they might be a step slow. I mean, we're not as big, but we might be a step faster, or the other way around. We'll find out.
How about the weather?
Oh, the weather's great. I mean, you know, it's 4 degrees less than it is in California, as you know. I mean, this is great. You know, and we've been in the East so much now. We're getting Eastern accents and all that stuff.
Johnson, number 52. Left inside linebacker, number 55, Gary Reason. Outside linebacker, number 56, Lawrence Taylor. Outside linebacker, number 58, Carl Banks. Right corner, number 23, Terry Williams. Left corner, number 25, Mark Collins. Safety, number 29, Myron Guyton. And free safety, number 43, Terry Kennard. Terry Kennard.
Settle back and enjoy, everybody. It's the New York Giants and the Los Angeles Rams with the winner to advance to the NFC Championship. We'll see you at halftime.
The Giants return to the playoffs, still sporting the old fire that made them champions. Their season has produced timely and unexpected heroes who have blended well with the timeless and established leaders. But the common thread to their success has been devotion to a gritty work ethic that has kept them on track, allowing them to rise above and beyond any and all expectations. They squared off 2 months ago with the Rams. The Los Angeles Rams visit the Meadowlands. The NFC Divisional playoff game between the Rams and the Giants. A weather day that is unbelievable for this time of year. 38-degree temperature, wind south 14 miles an hour, humidity 52%. And the forecast is for it to remain as it is right now mostly sunny. And good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall with John Madden. You know, John, when you think about the Los Angeles Rams under John Robinson, you think about that bludgeoning running attack. But they have a lot of other weapons, a lot of firepower.
Well, now they've changed really to a passing team with Ernie Zampese, and they have all kinds of guys they throw to. You know, you think they have Flipper Anderson and they have Henry Ellard. They're their starting wide receivers, but then they bring in Aaron Cox, they bring in a Ron Brown, and they bring in a Pete Holohan as a wide receiver. Robert Del Pino always seems to kill the Giants, and as Bill Parcells said, you play these Rams, they got so many guys doing so many things, it's like you spend the whole day just putting out brush fire. Then on defense, the Rams feel that what they have to do is stop the run of the Giants, make them pass.
You think about the Giants, you think maybe no superstars, you think about a sort of a blue-collar team, yet they won 12 games. How'd they accomplish that?
Well, I think they have excellent coaching and Bill Parcells and his staff, and they're really a defensive team, and they have to do it with defense. So I think that's going to be a big part of it today, not only to stop the run of the Rams, not only to rush Everett, but to get turnovers, get the ball for the offense. They have to do that. Then on offense, they're a ball control team. So a ball control team has to be able to run the ball. Not that they can run the ball all day, but just enough to make the play pass for Phil Simms possible, because that's the thing that he does best.
And so on this uncharacteristically balmy day at the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, Giant Stadium. What a wonderful place to watch a football game. And today you couldn't ask for better weather conditions. The Giants will receive the opening kickoff. Mike Lansford. Boy, don't you know, he is very happy about today being as warm and as pleasant as it is, because he kicks barefooted. He didn't always do that. He just sort of discovered it. Meggett and Ingram back deep for the Giants, and we're about set to go. The winner will play the 49ers next week. Good kick. It is going to be Meggett at the goal line. The pack is Meggett. Hit by James Washington. Bill Simms will direct the Giant offense. You heard in the postgame, the pregame show, about the physical problems that he's had throughout the year. Nevertheless, it's been a good year for Bill. In front of him will be Elliott, Roberts, Oates, Moore, Riesenberg, and Zeke Moat as the tight end. Anderson and Carthon open as the runners, with Baker and Manuel wide, and Mark Ingram and Stacy Robinson when they use 4 wideouts. Simms on first down at the 25. Fake to Anderson, and Simms with good protection goes right to work to Baker. Past midfield into Ram territory. 27-yard gain, stopped by Vince Newsom. The Ram defense, they open with 3 up front. Miller right in the middle, and Mike Peel. Green, Kelm, Strickland, and Wiltshire the linebacker. And the secondary, Gray, Leroy Irvin, the cornerbacks, Newsom and Stewart, the safeties. And then they go with that unusual package they used so well last week against Philadelphia, with 5 linebackers and 6 defensive backs. Simms to Anderson. First down. Stopped by Newsom. 13 yards.
These first 2 plays, Pats, are exactly what the Giants wanted to do. Get this Ram defense off balance. On first down, they come out, boom, they throw one. Now they come in, they put 2 tight ends in there. Spread that Ram defense out, and then whack, hit Otis Anderson up the middle.
Well, Bill Parcells was saying to us yesterday that 2 weeks off, the extra rest, really helped some of his players, including Otis Anderson. Anderson again gets the call. Almost another first down, if not a gain of 9.
Boy, they have found something over there in that right side. Maurice Carthon was the lead back. He's the fullback for the Giants. He went through the lead, and there was no one to block out there. Watch 44. That hole is so big, there was no one in it for Carthon to block, so he had to turn back to the inside.
This has been impressive.
Well, this is exactly what they have to do, and I'll tell you, if they can score early and get ahead, that'll be a big, big thing for the Giants.
2nd and 1. Sims has had enough of that, and he'll take a timeout. Nothing in the opening drive, but the Giants moving very effectively. The 49ers next week at Candlestick. Well, the 49ers put on some show yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, they are amazing. I think that, you know, they're coming back after winning the Super Bowl last year, and they really went to camp with a goal to repeat. And I think that maybe one of the secrets is just changing coaches. George Seifert has done an excellent job, as Bill Walsh had, but maybe that just rededicates the whole thing, because they are really peaking at the right time.
Whatever secret they have, it's certainly been successful. Second and short. Anderson is the lone setback. Manuel comes in motion. Seems to work. Up the middle to Anderson. Another Giant first down to the Ram 20. Gain of 6. Stopped by Fred Strickland.
Hey, that's when you love to call plays, that second and short. You know, if I could just call those, I'd still be coaching, because you can do anything, and it's really a good time to go to the passing game. I think Sims was looking deep. He was looking for the touchdown strike. You see him look to the left, and then he came back to O.J. Anderson as an outlet. That's really the time to go to the score.
That's one of the things that Sims does so well. Whatever you give him, he takes. Anderson again. Tripped up by Larry Kelm. But another 5-yard chunk.
You know, John Robinson said the first battle they had to win was his defensive line, which is Alvin Wright at nose tackle, Mike Peel at right end, and Sean Miller at left end. He said they had to win that battle the first thing in the game. So far, they haven't won that battle. So far, the Giants have won it.
Second and 5. Baker split wide to the left. Manuel in motion. Anderson behind the line this time by Alvin Wright. There's a guy who doesn't get a lot of notoriety, but who's a heck of a player. This guy does get some notoriety. Lawrence Taylor.
Well, and the Giants are going to have a big day from this guy. I mean, they need a pass rush. He's their best pass rusher, and they know they can't let Everett have time.
Brings up a 3rd and 7 situation, and here is that 5 linebacker look. Actually, 4 of them are down like defensive linemen. Wilcher is the linebacker. Out of the shotgun. Same 3rd and 7. Intended for Meggett. Incomplete. O.J. Anderson on the previous play aggravated something. It looks like one of his ankles, or perhaps a knee. Just activated yesterday. Raul Allegre asked Bill Parcells why he made that move. He said, this guy has been under pressure, and I just feel more comfortable with him. 35-yard field goal attempt. Hostetler is the holder. First 35-yard field goal with plenty of distance from Allegre. And they lead 3-0 with 10:27 left. John Madden, 10:27 left first quarter. Giants just got a 35-yard field goal by Raul Allegre, who's about to kick off. Deep for the Rams, number 39 is Robert Del Pino. The other man deep is Ron Brown. Territory. They stepped out a little bit earlier at about the 46, the Ram 46. Jim Everett, 2-0 in his career against the Giants, 2 sensational games. In front of him, one of the best offensive lines in pro football, Pankey, Newberry, Smith, Love, and Slater. with Damone Johnson, the tight end. Buford McGee's the fullback. Greg Bell, the runner. Anderson and Ellard, the wide receiver. Anderson left, Ellard right. Look out for Anderson. Holohan goes in motion. Everett goes to work. Pass incomplete, intended for Damone Johnson. Reasons, the nearest Giant. Marshall put the heat on Everett.
I know what the Rams were going to do. They wanted to come out on this first play and throw deep to Flipper Anderson. Now watch Flipper Anderson out here. There's Perry Williams, the corner. They are really just zoning him. You see now, there's a safety in there behind. Now look at Everett. He's trying to throw, Now he got the pressure and he couldn't, and he just had to dump it off. They wanted to strike quickly and deep right away. Good Giant defense.
2nd and 10. Off way to Bell. Greg Bell, first down Rams. The 40, tripped up by Guyton. 15-yard run by Bell. Giants start with 3 up front. Washington, Eric Howard, the nose tackle, and Leonard Marshall. The linebackers, Reasons, Banks, Pepper Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor. In the secondary, Collins, Williams, Kennard, and Guyton. And they go with their 6th defensive back package. It's White and Cox. First down, Rams, the Giant 39. McGee and Bell. Holohan goes in motion. Through the hands of Damone Johnson.
I think there's a guy, when we were talking to Jim Everett last night, he said that the guy you want to watch today that's going to be a big part of this offense is Damone Johnson. And if that's going to happen, that's going to happen on passing on 1st and 2nd down, because on 3rd down, Damone Johnson's not in there.
I think they feel that they'll get linebacker coverage on Damone Johnson.
But that's not always good. You know, I mean, the linebacker coverage, you're talking about someone like Carl Banks on it, which just happened.
Bell again. To about the 32, a gain of 7. Stopped by Banks and Pepper Johnson.
They're making the Giant defense think pass. Now watch the pass rush get up the field. Then in getting up the field, that's creating running lanes straight up the middle for Greg Bell. The Giant defense on passing downs like that 2nd and long are so concerned with rushing Everett right up the middle, they're letting Greg Bell just run right by him.
3rd and 3. Del Pino now in the game. He is, in previous games, really hurt the Giants. Outside to Buford McGee. McGee has a Ram first down inside the 25. A pickup of 9. Terry Williams made the stop.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing, Pat. What they did is they take Del Pino and they put him out knowing that the Giants are going to be very concerned about that. But here's Del Pino. Now as he goes in motion, that takes the corner out. Everyone's concerned about Del Pino out here, and boom, they just hit Buford McGee out there. Watch what Del Pino does. See him loosen that defense up? Now it opens up the flat, not for Del Pino, but for McGee.
1st and 10 Rams. Ellard again. To Henry Ellard. Another Ram first down. Terry Williams, the nearest defender, a gain of 12.
Yeah, this is the thing that the Rams do so well, is just move the ball around. But I know one thing, you can't give that big a cushion out there. You can't be afraid of Henry Ellard that you're just running to the goal line when he's running it out. I mean, the Giants have to play him a little tighter than that. They got to bump him around a little more, but you can't play way off like you're afraid of him.
1st and 10 at the 11. Anderson in motion. That's Bell to about the 6. Stopped by Eric Howard. Lawrence Taylor. With a gain of 5.
You know, one thing about Greg Bell that's amazing is how can a guy gain over 1,000 yards every year and still be an underrated guy? I mean, you know, you think of this team, you really don't even think of Greg Bell. And you look at his numbers, the guy really has had great numbers.
Look at his last 2 weeks. This time he's hit right at the line of scrimmage by Leonard Marshall. No gain.
That's the type of play that you need, the type of play that is going to get penetration. You see, when the minute he hands off now, Marshall is in the backfield before Bell gets to the line of scrimmage. You have to disrupt their rhythm on their side of the line of scrimmage.
Brings up the 3rd and 5. They can make the first down without scoring.
This is where the Giants' defense is the best, the closer you get to the goal line.
Now, Taylor knocks the ball loose, and the Giants come on top of it. Taylor came from the left side.
That was the first time he lined up on that left side. They're going to move him back and forth. Here's Taylor right here, 56. He's working against the tight end, Damone Johnson. That is no match. And I'll tell you, when Taylor gets there, he is not only going to go for the quarterback, but he's always going for the ball. I always say great players make great plays in big games. There's the first one for Lawrence Taylor.
Reasons made the recovery. Taylor locked it loose. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 10. Anderson. 11 yards. Newsom and Stewart had to make the tackle. Anderson got 11. Excuse me, John.
No, the key here is being able to handle the nose tackle. Now watch, here's the nose tackle. Bardos does a good job. Bring the guard down, just chip him enough, and that lets you get through here. Because if you can't handle that big nose tackle in the middle, you see him right there, they knock him off, now that gives him the hole. But if you can't handle him, you can't run. The Giants are handling him.
Anderson's 5 carries, 35 yards, more than that. Leroy Irvin made the tackle. Anderson got 7.
You ever notice, Pat, how on the sidelines they're always working on guys in their shoulder pads and knee pads and hip pads and always kind of putting stuff back together? When you're out there on defense, stuff starts going where it doesn't belong. Then you go over between plays and you get it put back where it belongs.
If you can find where it belongs. Anderson again. Tackle, 10 yards. He found some youth somewhere.
He is an amazing guy. You know, a couple of years ago he was done. They thought he couldn't play anymore. And they thought he would just be a backup guy. Then he thought, well, he'll be a starter, but we can't use him a lot. We have to keep him fresh. Now at the end of the season, here we are in January, and O.J. Anderson's a workhorse.
He's one of those guys, as has been described to us, as one of those runners who can make good cuts in the hole. 1st and 10. Sims directed at Manuel, but far short.
And again, that was that Rams zone defense, and Sims just couldn't get the ball in the lane.
4:27 left first quarter. Giants 3, Rams nothing.
I'll tell you one thing about this game. You look at those coaches down there in the sideline and those players down there in the sideline. Both sides said that this is going to be a black and blue game. Everett was saying, I expect to get jacked up in this one, and I'm ready for it.
Sims to throw it. Again in the direction of Manuel, incomplete.
Now the first one, Sims had a problem with his own defense. That one, it looked like the ball just sailed on him. Looked like he, went to grip that ball and boom, it just took off on him.
We did this game when Sims had a statistically hot day against the Rams out in Anaheim. That was a game that they had to throw every down in the second half.
Yeah, and that's not Giants football, and that's the thing that they hope they don't have to do is they say they want to play a complete game, play all their parts.
No flag. Make it. To the Ram 44. Make it brought down by Irvin and Jackson.
Yeah, it's just amazing. They just can't cover this guy, Pat. It's third down. The Giants have a formation they call scat. Watch 30 make it. He can go any place he wants to. He just goes through, finds a little hole. There's no one on him. He picks up a block there, makes a big play for a first down. The Rams were saying yesterday that they would like to make, in fact, John Robinson was saying they would like to make it a non-factor in this game. He better get back on the sideline or he's going to make himself a factor.
Sims back to throw. Got a man, Baker. Incomplete. Just overthrew him.
Yeah, I've always found out that when a quarterback gets pumped up, you know, when a quarterback plays a big game, and you get an emotional guy like Phil Sims, he's an emotional guy, that they will tend to overthrow, that they have so much adrenaline that somehow that adrenaline just goes right into that arm.
Especially early in the game.
Right, early in the game, in the first quarter, and I think that's what we just saw. I mean, Phil Sims is so pumped up, he's having a hard time keeping the ball in the stadium.
They're at the Ram 45. They hand off to Anderson. He hammers to the 40. Another gain of 5. Strickland made the tackle. Oh, Allegre.
There's a guy that has a lonely feeling. You know, he's been not active. He's been on injured reserve. And being on injured reserve, you can't even practice with the team. So for the last month and a half, he not only hasn't really been part of the team we're playing, but even during practice, he can't be out there with them.
Brings up 3rd and 5. 4 wide receivers. Sims has to come out of there, and he will get a Giant first down and more. Jerry Gray stopped the quarterback.
I'll tell you who made a great block out there was number 81, Stacy Robinson. You know, that's the thing. You're going to go out, and you're going to try and get open. If you don't get open, you see your quarterback run, help him. The protection breaks down. Sims sees a hole. Now watch right there, 81, Stacy Robinson. He gets that block there that lets Sims get a few more yards.
So it's first down, Giants at the Ram 27. Megan is the lone setback. He can throw it. For Odessa Turner. Incomplete. Jerry Gray not fooled.
I saw them practicing this play the other day. They were practicing with O.J. Anderson, and his shoulders are beaten down so much he couldn't throw the ball. But Dave Maggott was a quarterback in high school, and he could throw the ball. So that was going to be one of the Giant surprise plays for the day. They just used it. It didn't fool the Rams at all.
Brings up a 2nd and 10 at the Ram 27. Eric Howard, Giant nose tackle over on the sideline, talking with Lamar Leachman. Anderson skips and made one of those cuts in the hole like we were talking about.
O.J. Anderson said that anything that he gets is a bonus this year, not only in salary but playing time. He was talking the other day how it's amazing. A couple years ago, he was standing on the sideline talking to Maurice Carthon, and he was watching Joe Morris run out there, and he was saying, you know, he said, I used to do that at one time. He said, I'll never do it again, but I used to. And lo and behold,
whatever he's doing is effective. 3rd down. Sims flushed for a moment. Pass incomplete for Stacy Robinson. Oakland put the heat on Sims. This might, as Allegre comes on, this might stretch his capacity just a little bit.
Well, I think one thing, if there is any wind, he's going with the wind. And I'm sure that Bill Parcells thinks if he can't get it from here, I shouldn't have activated him anyway.
Yeah, he's in range now, just over 41 yards.
Where Bjorn Nitmo is.
Fine shot. Is good. With plenty left. He didn't hit with that Giants. 6-0. With 55 seconds left in the first quarter, the Giants got a 35-yard field goal by the just activated Raul Allegre, and then a 41-yarder, and they lead 6-0. Brown and Del Pino back deep for the Rams. It'll be Del Pino at about the 14, with no place to go. Which the Giants have improved tremendously this year. Special teams. And they're down in a hurry. Led by Leroy Sun. 45 seconds left first quarter. 6-0. And Giant Stadium sold out on an almost balmy day. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 6-0. With 45 seconds left to play in the first quarter, the Giants lead the Rams.
You know, one great thing about playing at home in the playoffs, you know, the Giants in the playoffs here have never had a team score against them. That's one good thing. The other thing is when you can score early at home, then you get your crowd in the game.
Well, flag on the play. Picked up 3. Washington on the tackle sheet.
We almost finished the first quarter, Pat, and I think that's the first penalty.
Bob McElwee is the referee.
I've always found in playoffs, in playoffs, their mics don't work as well, but the officiating is a lot better. I mean, I've always thought that there seems to be fewer and fewer penalties the closer you get to the Super Bowl.
They sort of seem to have a philosophy of, okay, let's let them play now.
I think they do, and I think they have better officials, too, because these are all-star crews. Right. They're not the same crews. They get the guys that did the best at their position during the year.
Del Pino swings out of the backfield in motion. Everett to Holohan. Crawl to about the 30. Pepper Johnson made him stay down. Pickup of 12.
Hey, watch this. Here's Holohan, 81. Now, they have him doubled early, you see, and then they let him go, and Holohan keeps working. That's the thing that he'll do. He'll always get you that first down. He'll work in an area, and he'll continue to work until he finally gets open.
United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. And by Miller Lite, America's favorite light beer, brings you the Miller Lite All-Star Super Bowl game.
The Meadowlands, the home of the Giants, the divisional playoff. And the Giants lead it 6-0. Rams ball their own 30. First play of the second quarter coming up. Bell. No room. No game. Reasons read it perfectly. Possession, which is exactly what the Giants would like to do and feel they have to do. Keep the ball.
Well, that's Giant football. You know, you play defense, you get a turnover, you keep the ball, and that does two things. One, it gets you on the board twice, but more importantly, it keeps the Rams off the field.
They need 3 for a first. Holohan will have it. He's just one of those guys who's got that knack of finding where the space is.
And, you know, he has great hands. I remember the best hands I've ever seen in my life was Fred Blitnikoff. And last night, John Robinson was saying that this guy has hands like Blitnikoff. He said he has hands like Largent. You know, those types of guys that were the great hands that ever played. So you think of him as a tight end, he said he's really more of a wide receiver.
Everett with protection. Intended for Flipper Anderson, incomplete.
One thing we were talking about how the Rams over the years throw the ball to a lot of different guys. Look at this, the wide receivers 139 times, 93 to the running back. Now Pete Holohan is just a separate. He's half wide receiver, half tight end, half back, and he caught 51.
Eric Dorsey just activated yesterday.
This will be his first snap in like 14 weeks.
Second and 10. Spell. Eric Howard and Eric Dorsey. Stop Bell after he picked up 3.
I tell you what they're going to do. You start, here's the guy's first play. They say, hey, we got a guy right here. Let's run right at him. Boom, he hits in here and makes his first play a good one. He's a little slow, a little late off the ball, but he makes a good play at taking on the block by Damone Johnson and then waiting for the ball to get there and making the tackle.
That weight figure, 280, might be a little light. Here's Everett back to throw, if he can. Lawrence Taylor wrapped up Everett. Loss of 8. The Rams will have to punt.
The Giants are doing just what they had to do on defense. They have to get there. Here's Taylor right here, coming from the outside. He's going again on Irv Pankey. That's not just enough getting him bumped. You bump him, and he keeps going and works his way right back into the quarterback.
So much quicker than everyone thinks he might be. Mega tactic for the Giants.
And stronger, and faster, and explosive.
And hungry.
I think he's the most dominant defensive player in the league.
Hatcher's punt. Make it out of bounds. And the Giants will take over at their own 26, leading 66-0 after a 41-yard punt by Hatcher. By Allegre. Both Rams drives, what they've been able to generate, ended with sacks by Lawrence Taylor, which is just exactly what you said the Giants had to do at the beginning of the game.
I think that's what they have to do, keep getting that type of pressure. As you said, the first time the Rams are going in to score, he gets in there, sack, causes a fumble. The second time, just now, he gets a big play. Let's watch it here in the clicker, and we'll see. You see, once he can get up even with a guy, and he throws that left arm up under Pankey and gets into this position, now he just keeps working, and there's no way that he's not going to get Everett. That is a tough thing for a left tackle to have to block him by himself. I think the Rams should maybe keep a tight end over on Taylor a little more.
Somebody has to bother him. Maybe just incidental. Here's Sim. Quick, complete intended for Turner. And no marker. Leroy Irvin timed his hit exactly perfectly.
Leroy Irvin's a guy who's been around 10 years, a 10-year veteran, and in the last 3 weeks of the season, he seems to be playing his best football. Played a heck of a game last week against the Eagles. You know, they thought he was getting a step slower and maybe not the same corner he used to be, but in these last couple weeks, he's looked like the same corner he used to be.
Brings up second and 10. Sims to throw it. Sims chased. Dumps the ball. Flag down on the play. The heat was put on by Peel.
Yeah, that's going to be, you can't do that. They're going to say that he illegally grounded the ball, again, to avoid the sack. I think what the Rams are arguing, that was a fumble, and they want the ball.
Bob McElwee. Well, if you can read lips, intentional grounding, it's also loss of a down.
Right, illegal grounding the ball. You see, here's Mike Peel there, 95. Now he's just trying to get rid of the ball to avoid the sack. So he just throws that ball out. Now, if that ball doesn't go forward, I don't know if this comes forward. If this ball doesn't come out forward, that's a lateral. Now, if it's a lateral, then that's a fumble. If that doesn't go forward, that can't be a forward pass, and that could be the Rams' ball.
Which is exactly what they're saying, and I think they might be reviewing this one.
I think they have to say that the call is right, that it's a loss of down for throwing the ball away, but if it didn't go out forward, then it could be a fumble.
3rd and 27. Standing right at the goal line. That's Baker who made the reception. They don't get the first down. A gain of 19. They got some breathing room. Jerry Gray made the stop.
Hey, that did a good thing. That gives Sean Landeta much better position to punt from. And the Rams aren't going to have that great field position they would have.
Darrell Henley is number 20, back deep. And Landeta to punt. Return. 26 left to play. And the first half, Phil Simms on the RIT phone.
I think he dodged it. Yeah. I think he dodged a bullet on that one, Pat. And he's talking to Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator, because I still think, after looking at that play again, I still think that was a fumble.
And the Rams did recover.
I mean, that was not a smart play by Phil Simms.
That much I'm sure of. Here is Greg Bell. About 3 yards by Washington and Howard and Marshall. The front three.
You know, Leonard Marshall is one of the best defenders against the run that there is in this league, and he plays what they call a two-gap. And a two-gap is when you have the gap to your left, you're responsible for that, and also the gap to your right. And there's no better two-gapper in the league than Leonard Marshall.
Now he's lined up over the right guard of the Rams. And Everett swings it out to Bell. Close to a first down for the Rams. Knocked out of bounds by Guyton.
This is one of the matchups that they want to get Marshall in here so that they can get pressure on Everett and work on Doug Smith, who they think pass protection-wise is the weak link of this team. You see, they get Marshall on Smith, and they think that they can get that push up there. But they just have both those guards in there helping them.
That's the place they feel they have to put pressure on Everett, up the middle.
Right, if they can, right over Doug Smith with no help.
3rd and short. Play. Lawrence Taylor might have jumped offside.
I think Lawrence Taylor did jump offside. Lawrence Taylor was trying to hit that inside gap himself. You said they're trying to get different guys in there.
Offside, number 56, defense. First
there
down.
It is right there. Lawrence Taylor in the neutral zone before the ball snapped.
And that gets a Ram first down. Right at midfield. 6-0 Giants.
Yeah, there's nothing that makes a player mad than doing something like that and giving a team a first down when they didn't deserve it. They didn't earn it.
Everett back to throw. Here comes Taylor again. Anderson incomplete. Taylor popped Everett.
That's what they have to do. Last week the Eagles didn't knock down Jim Everett. They had a couple sacks, but they didn't knock him down like this when he threw the ball. That that is not only a knockdown, that cleans out the complete sinus tracts.
He delayed just enough to make Irv Pankey think he was not going to blitz.
That's the second time they've knocked Everett down, but did you see that? The whole top of his body shook.
Here's the handoff to Bell. He's hit by Taylor. Maybe that offside call against him that gave him the first down upset his temperament a little bit.
I tell you, that did. I mean, and once he gets, I mean, he can play this type of game where he can go like this. You know, this is a different level where he's going to rush, he's going to do anything. Now watch Gary Reasons come in there. There's Taylor, boom. And you're going to see right there, you see Reasons dive over. Watch 50 right there in the air. Boom, he's doing a somersault. He makes Bell cut back, and he has to cut back right into Taylor.
3rd and 6. Everett. McGee was the intended receiver. Reasons and Pepper Johnson converged to knock the ball loose.
This is defensive football. This is what you say getting after him. When coaches say, let's go out there and get after him, that is what the Giants just did. They got after him.
Hatcher into punt for the Rams. Meggett standing back at the 10 for the Giants. Gets it out of there. Not very well. Giants will take over at about their own 23. 9:24 stadium. Everett 5 out of 10, but he's been rushed, knocked down, hurried, and everything.
And this is what they wanted to do, is throw his timing off. And this is what they're doing. They're getting a rush, making him throw when he doesn't want to. That makes him throw a little behind, have guys clamp on their underneath receivers. The Giants' defensive game plan is perfect thus far.
1st and 10 from the 24. Anderson to his left. Knocked out of bounds by Leroy Irvin. A 5-yard gain.
You know, one thing that both teams thought that Otis Anderson couldn't do anymore is run outside. You know, he has lost a step or 2 or 3, so he runs most of the time to the inside. That time he went to the outside, and it looked like he got one of those stingers. You know how you hit someone with your shoulder, and you get that sting all the way down your arm and through your hands and into your little fingers?
He's averaging 6.5 yards a carry. Tillman takes his place. Sort of Anderson's protege. Larry Kelm made the stop for the Rams.
And Lewis Tillman comes in the Giant locker room. He walks right to Otis Anderson's locker. He said, Bill Parcells was saying he just follows him around. I guess in one of the first preseason games, Tillman got in and had a couple of pretty good plays, and Otis Anderson came in the coach's locker room after the game and said, hey, you got a guy who's going to be a running back here, and there's Lewis Tillman.
He was the guy who broke all of Walter Payton's records. Just enough for the first down, stopped by Irvin. A gain of 3.
Look at the play on O.J. Anderson's arm again. Leroy Irvin is coming up. Now Anderson's going to take him on. See with the right shoulder, he dips it there. And I think just when he dipped and he hit the shoulder, I think Irvin kind of caught him underneath that shoulder pad.
Right on that muscle, big muscle. 6.5 yards a carry he's averaging. That'll dominate a lot of games.
Anderson was saying that he remembers when he used to do those things. He's remembering them now. He's doing them now, the things he used to remember. John Robinson arguing with Jerry Berkman, the official on that side. That'll get you in trouble, I guarantee you that.
You speak from experience.
Yes, I do.
Hill made the stop.
Yeah, we've looked and know that the Giants have to be able to run. Now, look, any game that they have rushed for over 100 yards, they've won every game. Now, when they give a little dink and they don't get that 100 yards, then look, they're 0-4. So when they get a big old heavy boing and the thing goes up over 100, they win. A little boing, they lose.
They lose. They have 84 yards on the ground.
They're getting close to the heavy hammer.
2nd and 10. To Tillman. First down. That could have been more. They got 12 as it was.
Hey, they're doing a good job. They're starting with a nose tackle. They're cutting that nose tackle off. Then they're getting outside, stretching the defense, stretching the Ram defense, and then making quick cutbacks. Lewis Tillman has learned well from O.J. Anderson this year.
He has. Giant first down, their own 47. They lead 6-0. Less than 7 minutes remain in the first half. Tillman again. Larry Carroll made the stop. A pickup of 6.
This is the type of game that the Giants wanted. That defensive game, the pass rush, the Taylor coming hard, being able to ball control, run the game. Because when you can run the ball in the game, then Phil Simms is a much, much better quarterback. When he has to do it all himself, he's not as good.
They're over 100.
That means they're going to win. You believe every statistic you hear.
Yep. 2nd down. Rams showing blitz. This is Tillman again. By Kevin Green for a loss of a yard.
I think the one guy on defense that the Giants worry about is Kevin Green. And not so much on the run. I mean, he plays the run tough. He's just a tough guy. But they worry about him as a pass rush. See, now here the Ram defense does a good job of stretching it out. They didn't give him the cutback. You see Tillman looked for the cutback. It wasn't there, and he had to run into Green.
3rd and 5, 7 plays on this drive. They've all been runs. That'll change right here. Green makes Simms take off. Not enough. George Bethune puts Simms down. It'll be 4th and short.
Yeah, Simms was mad. I mean, he should, if you're going to run, you ought to try and get that extra yard. I don't think he knew it. I think that, he was there, and if you're going to do it in this type of game, you got to sell out and get that extra yard. You can't leave it a yard short.
I don't know that if they have a fake punt in their game plan or in their repertoire.
Yeah, we've seen them snap it to reasons.
Right. This would be the perfect spot. Landeta will punt it. That one didn't do much. Henley fielded it for the Rams. They will take over about the 28. Only a 20-yard punt by Landeta.
Fundamentally sound, tackles well.
Everett intended for Anderson, incomplete. Taylor came from the left side that time.
Taylor came from the left side, and Carl Banks came straight up the middle. That's the thing that they wanted to do. You're not always going to get sacks on Everett because he gets rid of the ball. But they're mixing up their different types of rushes. They're rushing from the outside. Now watch here. There's Pepper Johnson coming up the middle. Now watch 58. Carl Banks, he comes right up the middle. And you don't let Everett see everything he wants to, and you don't let him step up.
To Bell. And a draw play, he gets to about the 30. Gain of 6, Perry Williams. And Gary Reason stopped him.
The one thing that the Giants knew that they had to not let him throw when he wants to. Look, they've sacked him twice. They've hurried him 7 times. Make him throw when he didn't want to. They've knocked him down twice, and he's fumbled once and lost it.
So it brings up 3rd and 4 on the 30. 3:45 left to play in the second quarter. Holohan is the motion man. Up the middle to Henry Eller. Midfield and a Ram first down. Taken down by Kennard.
That's the thing. If they want to come underneath and clamp underneath in their zone defense on the receivers underneath, then they're going to be able to hit that next level. And they're always thinking about Holohan underneath. They clamp on that. They're worried about Delpino underneath. Then they start to hit Ellard on that next level.
Bell to about the 46, tripped up by Leonard Marshall.
This is one of these things where both teams are going after each other. And the thing that impresses me, again, I go back to fundamentals, to good, crisp tackling, that type of thing. You don't see guys running up and down the field all day, no one tackling them, waving them by. These teams got here because they're both fundamental. They both tackle well.
Second down. Harry Williams, they're saying catch. Harry Williams pushed him out of bounds.
You got to be kidding. I think what Jerry Bergman, the official down there, was saying is that he was knocked out of bounds. You see, Everett was trying to go to the outside to Bell. Taylor covered him. Now he's up in the air. He has control. Now what they're saying, if you're in the air and you're hit or tackled out of bounds, then it's where you would have been if you weren't knocked out. So this is what happened. Ellard catches a ball in the air. Now they're saying that he was knocked out of bounds. Now, but the question is, would he have come down with both feet in bounds anyway?
That was the ruling by Jerry Bergman. And it looks like it'll stand. First and 10 Ram at the Giant 36. Giants leading 6-0. The direction of Delpino. Again, he was hurried and hit by Marshall and Taylor.
Yeah, he was hurried and he was knocked down. You see what said? There's Marshall. He didn't want to throw the ball then. He couldn't step up. He couldn't get anything on it. That was an incomplete pass, not caused by the defense. It was an incomplete pass caused by these two guys putting the pressure on and making him throw it when he didn't want to.
Even if Lawrence Taylor doesn't get there, you've got to have him in the back of your mind.
You know, and he draws a lot of penalties, too.
That's Bell. Taken down by Marshall. 1-yard gain. And we'll get the 2-minute warning before they run another play. That's it. 6-0. 2 field goals by Raul Alegre. And that's all the scoring. 2 minutes left in the first half. You know, the All-Madden team is an event being chosen to it. The All-Madden team is an honor that's growing in stature. As a matter of fact, I was here in New York during the week, just walking around on the streets and talking to people about being chosen and how you are chosen. Here's their reaction.
John, put Carl Banks on the All-Madden team. Put LT on the All-Madden team, John.
John, I'd like you to put Joe Montana on the All-Madden team. How about it?
Tremendous acclaim.
Well, we get all kinds of input goes into this team. It's in the computers right now.
Third down. Everett for Ellard. Anderson cut in front of him and dropped it. Mark Collins was the nearest defender for the Giants.
Hey, this Giant defense has really thrown Everett out of sync. They've already hurried him 11 times. They've knocked him down 4 times, 2 sacks. But good coverage on one end, good hitting on the other end, good pressure. The Giants defense are really putting all the parts together here in the first half.
4th and 9. Hatcher into punt. Make it back at about the 10. Signals fair catch. At the 9. He juggled it momentarily, but came back up with it. 26-yard punt, but very effective by Hatcher. Back on that subject of the all-Madden team. Here's when you can see it.
Well, yeah, this looks good. I kind of like the picture here. I mean, there's a guy who's playing like heck today. You know, everything here is pretty good. They're working on it. You can see it in here. The thing I don't like is this. I don't think that should be. You know, no, we don't even know what that means. I think that should be like 6.
I thought it was 5.
Well, yeah, I don't know. When you start putting Roman numerals on that type of team, that doesn't go together.
Plus, it's neat.
Yeah, too neat. Yeah, too good looking. Too sophisticated.
This is Anderson on first down. Maybe a yard. Stopped by Kevin Green. Minute 32 left to play in the first half. Giant ball at their own 10, leading 6-0.
I think the Giants are thinking down here they've worked this hard in this first half to get a 6-0 lead that they don't want to do anything stupid. They don't want a turnover here. They don't want a big loss here. They don't want to give the Rams a chance to get a defensive score. Rams kind of have to think, well, we got them where we want them. Now we better go after them and get the ball right here.
The Rams have gotten a reputation over the years being a quick starting team. Here's Anderson again. They have not been shut out, in fact, in the first half of any game this year.
The Rams are taking a timeout now. I'm surprised they didn't take a timeout on the play before. But I think they have to take the timeouts now and then try and get another strike at them before they go in the house.
Coming up at halftime, Brent, Irv, Dick, and Will bring you up to date on the playoff picture, and they'll talk live.
They like by in the end zone before the game. I don't know. Oh, here they are. Look, we got stuff. Oh, there's Brent. There's Brent right there. Looks like he's getting ready. Butkus was getting his gear on.
Here's Irv.
Here's Irv. I'll tell you one thing about that group of guys. They're all over the place. They're like ants. You know, like when you have a piece of cake sitting out, you got a lot of ants around it. Those guys are like ants.
They were in San Francisco yesterday. Flew all night to get back here for this.
Well, that's a dumb thing. Do that.
Tim hands off to Megan. He's close to a Giant first down. Now they want a timeout. Stewart stopped Megan.
Well, that's a chess game. If the Rams could have held him there, then they could have forced the Giants to punt and try and get another strike. Now the Giants get a first down. They figure their field position is better now, being on the 20. So if they take a timeout, they must want to take another strike at it. Although I think when you're on the minus 20, I still think you're in a pretty dangerous field position.
Meggett did get the first down. That obviously is why they took the timeout.
That's Fritz Shermer there, the defensive coordinator of the Rams. Came up with that game plan that was so effective last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think defensively they've been pretty effective the first half of this game. It's just been that Giant defense has kept the offense off balance.
And they lead 6-0. 42 seconds remain now.
Watch out for Meggett, wouldn't you?
Here he comes out of the backfield. Meggett's got some blockers. And he goes out of bounds. Another first down. Urban. A pickup at 15.
This is the first time that I ever remember the Giants having a player like Dave Meggett. You go back a lot longer than me. I don't know if you can remember a guy that, you know, out of the backfield, kick returner, punt returner. If there's anything that helped this team this year, I think you have to say this guy helped it the most.
This is an element that I can't remember, along with you, that they've ever had.
I'm sure that no one else can remember one.
Here's Sims with time. Picked off by Stewart. And Stewart is out of bounds. Taken down by Megan. Jerry Gray deflected the pass. Stewart picked it off.
Well, I said with a 6-0 lead, they couldn't afford to do anything stupid with this field position, and they just did something stupid because now the Rams are in position that they can get a score. They played the whole first half. They had them under control. Then they let them back in with 24 seconds.
Rams have 2 timeouts left. Giants won, 24 seconds. 1st and 10 Rams at the Giant 20. They send Del Pino wide right. Anderson and Ellard to the left. Ellard in the slot. Now he goes in motion. Everett will have time. Anderson, touchdown.
Was just standing down there. He just ran a pattern and he stopped right in front of the goal post where the goal line. Jim Everett saw it and zipped it to him.
The key to that one was that protection.
I think great protection. And then the strong arm of Everett. Watch, Flipper Anderson was really like his third wide receiver, his third receiver. He looked to the left, looked to the middle, then finally came back to Flipper Anderson.
Lansford.
You know,
hand holding, excuse me.
Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, I'm told, was on his way into the locker room, heard about the interception, came back out on the field to call the play.
6-6. 7-6. The Rams have the lead. Still 17 seconds.
They get the pressure, and he steps up here, and he throws this ball in and the defender, you can see Jerry Gray, he's a safety on their nickel package. He's just playing free safety. He just reads the ball, knocks it up in the air, and Stewart comes up with the interception.
Timeouts remaining. 1 for the Giants. 2 for the Rams. Off to the Rams, who lead 7-6. Brown and Del Pino back deep. It'll be Del Pino. To about the 29. Greg Jackson made the stop. Statistically, the first half belonged to the Giants.
Well, you can see they rushed for over 100 yards in the first half. We know that any time they rush for over 100 yards, they win. They had the total yards. But the big thing is that turnover just before the halftime. And you can see the Rams scored 5 touchdowns off 7 Giants turnovers in the last 3 games. So you say, how have the Rams beaten the Giants? Well, we just saw one way.
Buford McGee is the lone setback. Everett goes right to work. Outside quickly. Weller taken down quickly by Mark Collins.
You know, it's interesting to see an adjustment. The first thing I see is that Lawrence Taylor comes on a pass rush and that they are going to help Irv Pankey out there now. In fact, on that last one, they kept Buford McGee in, and he stayed in right behind Pankey, and they doubled Taylor. As Herb Frost was saying, that's one of the things they talk about. They have to control or do something for Lawrence Taylor.
Makes it 2nd and 6. Everett to the air again. In front of Perry Williams, a Ram first down, a gain of 28.
Yeah, it looks like Everett, that confidence he got just before the halftime is carrying over now. Ellard is just going to come on an in. It looked like Perry Williams got a little flat-footed. He got back there and just waited like he got frozen, and Henry Ellard was able to get the in on him.
Ellard splits out to the left this time. Bell and McGee are behind Everett. Again to the air. To Anderson. Picked off by Mark Collins. Almost a simultaneous catch with Collins and Anderson, and Collins came up with it.
If the Rams are going to go deep, that's the guy they want to get it to, Flipper Anderson. Mark Collins, probably the best of the Giant defensive backs. He knows right now that Flipper Anderson's going deep. So he just runs stride for stride. It just becomes a jump ball. Collins wins the jump.
He just took it away from him.
That ball was just jumped. Look, there's 4 hands up there. All 4 hands have the ball now, but as they go down, Collins' 2 end up with it.
After further review, the play stands.
Bob McElwee's microphone obviously repaired at the half. They reviewed the play and it'll stand. 1st and 10 Giants from their own 20. This is Tillman. Dragged down by Leroy Irvin. Vince Newsom, one of the Rams safety men, just got back from the locker room. He had his ankle x-rayed at the half. And now Leroy Irvin limps off. Henley has taken his place. 2nd and 8. Here Sims with time. A flag on the play. Far side of the field, Tillman got almost enough for a 1st down. In fact, he did, but it's going to be against the Giants.
Well, I wonder if that thing to O.J. Anderson in the 1st half when he hit shoulders over there with Leroy Irvin, I wonder if that was more serious than it looked. His penalty is going to be against the Giants. When we come back in the 2nd half.
Block in the back. Number 84, during the run.
All against Mowat.
2nd down.
Anyway, we see Lewis Tillman starting the 2nd half for O.J. Anderson. That penalty was against Zeke Mowat. Here's Tillman here. There's the block right there. Well, I don't know. That's awfully picky because what the rule is, you have to have your head in front. Now, it looked like to me that Zeke Mowat's head was in front when he made contact.
2nd and 18, back at the 12-yard line. Sims to Mowat. He just got the penalty. Got a chance to get even. Washington knocked him out of bounds, and it's a 1st down.
Maybe that's the way to do it. Get a penalty and then go out and get the 1st down for your team. Although, again, I thought his head was in front. I don't think that was a penalty. And you see the play fake. That's the thing that Sims does well. He play fakes to Carthon, and then he finds, boom, he finds his tight end over the middle. But to be able to play fake, you have to have the running game going. And that's what the Giants had in the 1st half.
Leroy Irvin, who had to exit a couple of plays ago, getting his knee re-wrapped. Cross goes in motion on 1st down. Handoff is to Anderson. About a yard. Stopped by Fred Strickland. 7-6. Rams leading as Irvin returns to the Rams secondary.
Hey, it's tough enough being a corner out there and having to cover those speedy wide receivers with when your knees feel good, but when you got your old knee all taped up and you're a 10-year veteran and you have to get out there on a corner on an island out there all by yourself, that's tough. But again, this is playoff time. What the heck? There's nothing to save yourself for. If you don't win, you don't have to worry about what you're going to do tomorrow.
This is the finale. to throw it. Chased by Green. Fumble. Carthon herded it out of bounds. And Sims was the last guy to have possession.
That was Kevin Green. He was dogging Sims all the way. He is going to come from the outside, and watch him come. He comes like he shot there right by Carthon or over him or through him. Sims starts to run. Green is in pursuit. Now he's not only going to hit him, but he's going to try and knock the ball out. In fact, as he hits him, that ball pops out of there. Now again, as you said, the last guy to have control before it went out was Phil Sims.
So it's still Giant ball, 3rd and 26. Sims the forward handoff to Megan. Got some room. He can maneuver. However, good pursuit by the Rams. Jerry Gray got him down. Pickup of 9. And Landetta trots on. Henley back deep for the Rams. Landetta to punt. 7-6. The Rams lead. Landetta hits a good one. Henley feels it at the 22-yard line. No room. No place to go. Now there might be. Nope. Good pursuit again by the special teams. Pepper Johnson. 49-yard punt. A loss of 11 on the return, so the Giants net 60. 7-6 at Giants Stadium. The Rams leading the Giants by a point. They got the touchdown just before the end of the first half.
These fans are getting into it now, aren't they? They love their defense here in the Meadowlands.
Handoff Bell. Eric Howard stopped him after a pickup of 2 yards.
And these guys are playing well, and John Robinson knew last night it was going to be tough, that these guys are so solid and so fundamental that you're not going to get any gimmies. Everything you're going to do, you have to earn.
2nd and 8. Up the middle. Anderson. Into some very thick traffic. Hit by Kennard, who's hurt.
I think Kennard hurt himself on that hit. He was just waiting for him in there, Pat. Kennard is the free safety. Now you see Flipper Anderson, he's going to run it in. Now once he runs it in, Kennard is just going to be waiting for him. Kennard can see the ball coming and Flipper Anderson coming. And he just waited and put a lick on him. But in putting the lick, he got licked.
Anderson saw Kennard coming as well.
That's a tough thing. You don't know whether you concentrate on the ball in the air or the helmet in the air.
Brings up the 3rd down for the Rams. Back at their own 12-yard line, 3rd and 8. Anderson comes wide left. Ellard is to the right. There goes Holohan in motion. Everett back to throw it. To Ron Brown. Bounds and a Rams first down. Knocked out by Williams.
This is another way to use speed, is you can use speed either by going deep and going in or coming across on a diagonal. And that's what the Rams are doing here. They're taking Ron Brown, one of the fastest guys in football. See him coming across the field right here? You use your speed on depth or you use it on width. That's a new play the Rams have been working on for a couple of weeks. The diagonal to Ron Brown.
Everett overthrows Damone Johnson, who was pretty well covered. by Perry Williams.
Let's watch the blocking on Lawrence Taylor here. Now they have a tight end on him, so that delays him just enough. And they bring the guard out on him, Tom Newberry. Newberry comes out and kicks him out. So in the second half, they're blocking Taylor different ways every down.
And you just about have to do that.
If you leave one guy out there like this on an island with him, he'll kill you.
Here he comes again. Everett. Intended for Holohan.
Another way to do it, if you're going to be left on an island like this, like Pankey here, you got to hold him. Irv Pankey got away with this one. Watch him. He just grabs Taylor and just jerks him down. They didn't see that one. Then it was Leonard Marshall who made Jim Everett throw it when he didn't want to.
And it brings up a third down situation. 3rd and 10. Rams operating from their own 27-yard line with 9.5 minutes left, third quarter.
Pankey knew last night when we talked to him he was going to have his work cut out for him today. But this guy just keeps coming all the time.
Everett up into the pocket to Buford McGee. And McGee will have a Ram first down out of bounds at about the 48, knocked out by Sheldon White. 22-yard pickup for the Rams.
Now you'll see what they do if we just let this run, that the Giants are all getting deep. You see the zone here. Now if we can stop it here, you can see how they got their zone and their zone deep here. So you have areas underneath here, and that's where the Rams hit. That's where the Rams hit this one to McGee. Last time, when Everett had 18 straight, that's how he did it. Run them off and hit underneath.
Last couple of weeks, Buford McGee has come up with some clutch catches. This is Bell. Wrapped up by Eric Dorsey. Maybe 2 yards. Beautiful, beautiful day in the New York area. And what a sight that is. (7-6) the Rams over the Giants. The NFC playoffs. The winner to play the 49ers next week. 2nd and 8.
Hey, and that's what it's all about. I mean, this is what it's all about. Playoffs, then championship game, then the winner of that goes to the Super Bowl.
Blitz coming. Intended for a Holohan, knocked down by Mike Collins.
Hey, that is two things. Again, pressure. Watch the middle. You see how they're putting the pressure up the middle, making Everett, again, throw when he's not ready. Not letting him step up. He throws out here, and then on the other end, very good coverage by Mark Collins. That Collins has been all over the field today.
He's had a very effective day.
Well, the Rams have tried to get the ball to Flipper Anderson 6 times today. They've only completed 1, and that was a touchdown.
This is a Ram timeout. As Everett, we'll also hear from Ronnie Lott of the victorious San Francisco 49ers.
Ronnie Lott's still something. I was watching a little game yesterday, and the first thing I saw was Ronnie Lott intercept one and run it in.
Another Giant blitz. Eller. Back knocked out of bounds and knocked the ball loose. Incomplete. Hit by Perry Williams. And Collins again.
That, again, was a good rush. The Giants are rushing a lot better than I thought, and they're making Everett just get back and get rid of that ball sometimes before he wants to. Then on the other end, they have that good coverage. Remember, Lawrence Taylor just broke an ankle about a month ago. Looks like he was limping a little after that.
Rams continue to kick away from Meggett, and the ball goes out of bounds. And the Giants will take over with 8:25 remaining, third. Haven't seen before, John.
Well, again, it's just to build up that shoulder pad, you know, where you want something on the shoulder underneath the pad, and they have to build one side up or the other side up, and sometimes like this they just have to build it up on the run.
First down, Giants at their own 18. Anderson and Cardone behind Sims. The handoff is to Anderson. for 4 yards. Mike Wilcher brought him down.
Hey, that's what two linebackers do when they get together. They just sit and spit. There's Taylor and Banks, two of the best players in the National Football League, two of the best linebackers. And if they are going to continue to stop this Ram team, these guys have to be a big part of it. Looks like Taylor has argued that he wants another way to rush.
2nd and 6. And off Anderson again. Kevin Green tripped him up. 6-yard gain.
The Giant offense is having more success running inside than I thought they'd be able to, and I think you got to give credit to that inside group there, to Bart Oates, the center, and Roberts and Eric Moore, the center and 2 guards, doing a good job in there of getting movement on that nose tackle and the linebacker.
Speaking of good guards, this is one that had a great career with the Rams, Dennis Hara.
Yeah, he sure did. He was one of the first weightlifters of football players. In fact, his nickname was Hercules. They called him Herky, for short. But he was one of the first guys that had that big, pumped-up muscle look, and he was a heck of a player.
Lives down West Virginia. Up here visiting the Rams. Here's Anderson. Again, he picks his way for good yardage. Stopped by Jerry Gray.
But again, they're able to work that middle. And here's the offensive lineman. You know, the Rams have always had great running backs, and maybe the reason they've had great running backs is that they've had great offensive linemen. Look at these guys who've been in the Pro Bowl. Or maybe because they've had great running backs, these guys have been great. Or maybe these guys have made the running back. You know what I'm saying?
3 of them still active.
Yeah.
About that much short. With 7 minutes exactly left, 3rd quarter. Bill Parcells has made up his mind that we're going to run this thing.
I don't know. I always think that this short yardage situation is a great down. It's like a free down. It's a great down to go play pass and throw a deep one.
Well, that's what Bill Sims was going to do. Couldn't get it out of there.
Of course, it didn't work. But as he was trying, though, he just, look, he's holding the ball too low. He gets it down there, and he never gets that thing up. I mean, that ball is just thrown too low. Mike Peel gets up and knocks it down, but when you're back in that pocket, I think you have to get it up higher than that. Either that or Mike Peel has to get more penetration on his pass rush.
Anderson has 16 carries for 90 yards. That's Maurice Cartwright. He will lunge for the first down. Picked up a yard. They needed a foot. Mel Owens, the bottom of the pile for the Rams.
Did you hear that collision, though, Pat? Watch when Carthon goes in there. Right here, I swear, it's like he ran into a wall. I mean, that was a collision. That was like a whap. And then, now what he did is, watch him. He keeps his feet going, and makes that one last effort there that picks up the first down.
Giant ball just inside the 40. Their 40. Sims. Lionel Manuel. Covered by Leroy Irvin about a yard too far.
He was doing a good job. Doug Riesenberg is doing a good job over there on Kevin Green. Phil Sims just isn't having one of his days. I'll tell you, you know, Riesenberg has drawn, of the Giant offensive linemen, has drawn the toughest job. And he's been doing a pretty good job here. But look where the Giants' running success has been. 12 times for 63 yards up the middle, 63 and 50 to their right side.
Now they go left with Anderson. Gets 3 or 4. Larry Kell, Fred Strickland. 2 Ram defender. Lawrence Taylor. Deep in thought.
Well, he's deep in thought about what he's going to do the next time they get out there. Those defensive guys always love to see first downs. And then that means that they get a little extra breather. What a defensive guy hates is 3 and out.
3rd and about 6. It's out of the spread. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Stacy Robinson was the intended receiver. The marker came flying from way deep behind the secondary. It'll be against the Rams.
Holding, number 23, defense, 5 yards, automatic first down.
That's the thing. It's not the 5-yard penalty. It's on Michael Stewart, but it's an automatic first down. Now, Michael Stewart, it's going to be on the right-hand side of the screen here. See him, 23 right there? You saw him. He just grabbed Stacy Robinson as he made the turn. Again, it was 5 yards, but automatic first down.
And Sims will throw it on first down. To the Ram 40, a pickup of 11, caught by Dave Megan.
I think this Dave Megan has to be some kind of MVP, that offensively he's the biggest thing that the Giants have going, and they have to get the ball in his hands as much as they can.
Well, he's caught 4 passes today for 52 yards.
He's not given much of a chance to kick return because every time the Rams punt, they're punting away from Megan.
First down, Giants at the Ram 40. They trail by a point. Sims has the ball deflected again. And he is upset with himself. Alvin Wright got the hands up that time.
Yeah, and that shouldn't happen. I mean, it's not like these guys are getting that close to him. I think the quarterback has to be able to find lanes. He not only has to be able to find receivers, but he has to be able to find passing lanes, because that's good pass protection. Bart Oates had Alvin Wright still on the line of scrimmage, and he just jumped up in the air. I think it's a quarterback's responsibility to find not only a receiver, but to find a passing lane between the rushing defensive linemen.
2nd and 10. Outside to Maurice Carthon. Mel Owens there with him. A gain of 8. And they're getting close to Allegre's range.
Sims is having success with this type of thing. You know, hitting his tight end, hitting his backs. He's only completed 2 to the wide receivers. That's where he's having the problem. But see, being able to get guys underneath like Maurice Carthon, he's able to do that. And maybe that's the thing they should stick with.
That makes it 3rd and 2. At the Ram 32. Flag on the play, but Moat has the ball regardless.
That was a heck of a pass and a heck of a catch, and I think the penalty's going to be on Michael Stewart again for holding. He was holding Moat before the ball got there. Watch him, good down, play pass, good fake in there, throws out here. Now watch Stewart. He's on him and grabbing him and face masking him before he gets there.
The penalty is declined. First down.
They declined the penalty. Moat's catch, one-handed, makes it a first down.
Rex Stewart did just about everything illegal you can do before the goal about this. That's really fighting. See, here's where Sims has had his success. Look, 6 to 7 for the running back, 2 for 3 to the tight end. Not much to the wide receiver.
First and goal at the 9. To about the 3. Out by Strickland. A gain of 5.
Now, we always talk about the thing that O.J. Anderson does is get in the hole and move in the hole. Watch him here. Now he's in the hole. Watch, he makes that move right there. Plants a right foot, cuts, plants a left foot, and cuts back. That was a double cut in the hole. That's what makes O.J. Anderson special.
2nd and goal.
There's Damian Johnson, 68, Pat, in the first time since he had back surgery.
a yard before he's wrapped up by Mel Owens and Larry Kelm. Third down.
Now the Giants are bringing their receivers back in. One thing you know that if they're going to run the ball in, it's going to be O.J. Anderson. He's the only running back that scored a touchdown this year running.
O.J. now has 100 yards and 19 carries.
I think this is an area where Bill Parcells either has to decide to pass it on third down. If it's incomplete, kick a field goal. Or if you run, you have to say you're going to go for it on 4th too.
Third and goal at the 2. Anderson. A well-engineered drive by Phil Simms. And some strong running for O.J. Anderson. Maurice Carthon shaken up on the touchdown by Anderson.
Carthon made a big play on that drive on his pass reception. Plus the other big play, watch his lead block. Anytime O.J. Anderson makes a run, he's going to get a good block by Maurice Carthon. He did. That was a heck of a lead block. I'll tell you, the guy that knows it better than anyone else is 24. Watch it again. Watch the lead block. Here comes 44 right there. Look at that collision there against Kelm. He straightens him up, knocks him back, and that is the hole that let O.J. Anderson get through. This guy, Maurice Carthon, is a real warrior.
Very, very valuable. They kept the ball 6 minutes and 28 seconds in that 82-yard drive. Allegre will try for the extra point with Hostetler holding. The Giants have recaptured the lead 12-7. A minute 57 left in the third quarter. It's the Giants.
A running forward and leaping foul against the defense. That's 15 yards and forced on the kickoff.
Oh, boy, is that it? What, you caught someone running forward and leaping? And it's 15 yards for running forward and leaping? That's too much on an extra point. Let them have it.
They'll tack on the 15 yards on the kickoff. 13-7 Giants.
That's too, I mean, that's not even a rule. They made something up. They're just trying to call things that shouldn't be.
Well, they're going to kick off from the 50.
Poor James Washington is just standing up there. He jumps up in the air and they give him 15 yards. That's a dumb penalty.
Only the 6th penalty today. Kickoff goes right to the goal line to Del Pino. It was knocked out of bounds at about the 18. 16-yard return. Another penalty flag on the kickoff after the original penalty. Now maybe not.
Of course, that really didn't hurt the Rams, too. It was a 15-yard penalty, but they're still, you know, they're getting the ball in the 16-yard. And the only way it would have hurt is if the Giants had decided to go for an onside kick. But what the rule is, the guy can't step forward and jump up. That's dumb.
Anderson went in motion. Everett looked in that direction and came back to Ellard and missed him by a wide margin.
Hey, one thing, Ellard has been covered well today. The Giant defense has done a good job. The Giant defense has also done a good job of getting or keeping Jim Everett out of sync.
That makes it 2nd and 10. Outside with Damone Johnson. Taken down by Carl Banks. 5-yard gain. And the A minute and a half left.
That was exactly what Carl Banks said yesterday they had to do. Is one, he said, when we play our zones, we got to clamp onto these guys short, and then we have to tackle. He said last time, he said, we didn't do anything. He said, we just backed up, we didn't clamp on them in our zone, and we didn't tackle. And that was exactly what he said he had to do, and he did it exactly that time.
He's up a 3rd and 5 situation. Holohan out of the backfield quickly. Ellard takes a quick post from Everett and got the Rams on first down, a gain of 23 yards.
John Robinson was talking how Ernie Zampese, when he first came to the Rams, that was his favorite pattern, that quick post, that seam post. And he said they went for almost a year and they never completed it. And John said, you know, let's throw that one out. And Ernie just kept practicing it. And he said now it's one of the best things they do.
They just kept throwing it. They've hit it a couple of times today. 1st and 10 Rams, 44-yard line, the line of scrimmage. Ellard again swings in motion. Back to Bell. And Bell gets across midfield, a gain of 7 yards. Stopped by Collins and Tenard. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Giants 13, the Rams 7. In the East. Divisional playoff between the Rams and the Giants. The Giants leading 13-7. One more quarter of action left. 2nd and 3, the winner of this to play the 49ers next week. Everett to Bell. And Bell hammers into the Giants secondary down to the 30 before Kennard trips him up. 18 yards for Greg Bell.
You talk about guys who make moves in the hole. Greg Bell did then. There's going to be a collision on the left side. Watch that. Right to the left. Bell sees that. Then he cuts back, finds a hole in there, makes another move downfield before they finally finish it off. I know what John Robinson's telling. This was when he starts. Fourth quarter's Ram football. Wear him down. We're wearing him down. All those buzzwords he's been using forever, he's using now.
Everett back to throw it this time. Ellard. That's a catch. Sheldon White was the nearest Giant defender. 16 yards and a Ram first down.
Sheldon White looked like he thought that Ellard was out of bounds. Watch him. He just kind of pulls up into play. He should have ran through and tried to knock something out of there. Ellard made a heck of a deal by keeping both of those feet in bounds.
Dragging him down before he went out. Ellard has 7 catches for the day. First down, Rams at the Giant 14. Giants leading 13-7. To about the 9. Collins hit him after a gain of 5.
There's Bill Parcells. The guy behind him in the red jacket is Bill Belichick, who's the defensive coordinator of this Giant defense. And I think he's done an outstanding job. I mean, he's one of those real bright guys who studies everything, knows everything, and always has his players prepared.
Here's another of those who's been mentioned as a potential head coach. Here's Everett. Threw it away. Couldn't find anybody.
Yeah, it just seems like the closer that you get to the goal line, the better the Giants play defense. You know, we've seen those goal line stands that they've had, and
like 3 weeks in a row they had a goal line stand.
Yeah, I mean, they're just tougher and tougher.
3rd and 5. Anderson motion left. flag on the play. Here's Everett. Incomplete, intended for Buford McGee. But a penalty marker on the play.
And I think that could have been one of those penalties, Pat, that the whistle blew.
75 offense before the snap. Before the snap. No play.
Yeah, I was going to say the whistle did blow before the play, so it's going to be 5 yards, but it'll still be the same down. And that's what Lawrence Taylor does. In addition to getting sacks and hurries and knockdowns and all those things, he gets penalties. You see, Pankey gets so worried about Taylor there that you start to move before the ball snaps. You see, he's up at the top of the picture there. You see 75? He's getting in position to block Lawrence Taylor before the ball snaps. Taylor gets a lot of those penalties. Keith Millard gets a lot of those kind of penalties.
Third down, back at the 10 now. Back at the 15, make it. Holohan swings to the left. Intended for McGee, and he can't find the handle. Taylor was again chasing Everett.
Yeah, he was there. He was right there. Tom Newberry's blocking him. Watch, they bring the left guard 66 out. That is a real matchup. Taylor's arguing, and he was held. Newberry is an ex-wrestler. He's doing anything he can to keep Lawrence Taylor off of Jim Everett.
So the Rams will go for the field goal from 31 yards away. Lansford has only missed once from this distance all year. And he hits this one. 13-10 now is the Giant lead. Lawrence Taylor and Bill Parcells. Coach probably saying, I just need, well, not even a whole quarter. They rewrap his ankle.
Well, you know that Lawrence Taylor is gutting it up now. Sometimes you're playing on those things and the adrenaline really works. And then you still got adrenaline, but you start to get tired. You start to feel these things more. So that's when you get more bandages. You get more tape jobs. You just need anything to get you through this last 13 minutes.
Lansford ready to kick it. Megan and Ingram back deep for the Giants. Going to be Ingram. Reach back into the end zone and then decides to come out. Brought down right at the 20-yard line. 20-yard return. In the event you might have joined us late, here's the way it happened. First a 35-yard field goal by Lagrave, then a 41-yarder. The Giants led 6-0. Just before the half, the Rams scored their touchdown. Everett to Anderson. And then Otis Anderson, a 2-yard touchdown run. The Giants recaptured the lead, and the Rams just got a 31-yarder from Lansford. That's the way it stands now, 13-10, first and 10. Meggett split wide to the left. Sims looking that direction. Instead. Out of bounds at about the 25, a pickup of 6, knocked out by Mel Owens.
Yeah, that's what a guy like Meggett gives you. You put him in the game, you split him out, and then everyone says, here's Meggett, here's Meggett. They start pointing to Meggett. You run him off, and then you put another guy out in the area that he vacated. So these guys can really help you when you get the ball in your hands, but they can also help you just when they're on the field. It opens other things up.
Just by their presence. 2nd and 4. 13-10, the Giants lead it. Anderson did not get enough for a first down. Mike Wiltshire cut him down.
Tell you one thing the Giants missed on that play was not having Maurice Carthon in. We've seen that how many times Anderson has picked up plays, including a touchdown, and the lead block has been Carthon. I think Carthon got hurt down there in that goal line when he was leading in there for Anderson. And I'll tell you, this running game will miss Maurice Carthon.
Roussan has taken Maurice Carthon's place, 3rd and 3. Anderson has got the first down fumble, and he got it back. Irvin made the a stop after a gain of 10.
And he got a pretty good block by, pretty good lead block by Lee Roussan. Watch him here. Roussan's number 22 right there on Strickland. He gets that block. That lets O.J. make that cut and then get the first down. And the ball gets knocked out. Lands right in front of him.
He got a good bounce.
Lee Roussan did that same type of thing that Maurice Carthon has been doing.
And a busy day for Otis Anderson. It's probably going to get busier. Here he is, right side. Hammers to the 40. Kevin Green tripped him up. Jerry Kennard loosening up on the sideline.
Remember that hit that he had in the middle there where he went off. Sometimes those things shake you and you start to tighten up, especially in the second half of these, where you have the colder weather, you tighten up and you just can't get the thing loosened up again.
Second down, 7 from the 40. And O'Malley got about 3, stopped by Kell. Stewart. Clock down to almost 10 minutes remaining. 3rd and 4 coming up.
And again, this is the type of game that the Giants want, where you get that running game going, you keep this defense off balance, then you throw a play pass in there. I tell you, you look there at Kevin Green, who was the big pass rusher of this Ram team, and they have really kept him pretty quiet today.
Big 3rd down coming. Sims will throw it. Batted away by Gray. Intended for Odessa Turner, and the Giants will have to give it up.
Jerry Gray made that look easy, didn't he? I mean, he just reacted. It looked like he was out in the schoolyard or something. He just came in there and swatted that ball down almost with complete disdain. Bang, get out of here.
Landetta to punt. Irvin back deep to handle the punts for the Rams.
A couple of plays ago, they were putting a wrap on Leroy Irvin's knee.
It'll be handled by Irvin at about the 17-yard line. Greg Cox down in a hurry. Trip him up. A 40-yard punt by Landetta. 3-yard return. And the Rams take over with 9:32. Giants 13, the Rams 10. Rams ball at their own 20.
One of the areas that the Giants have improved most is in their special teams. And this 21, Renee Thompson, is one of the best cover guys in the league in all of football. But look, when you're that good, you draw attention all the way. So they just keep playing. In other words, they say, someone's going to make a tackle. The 21's not going to make it, I'll guarantee you.
Here's Everett, straight back. Outside to Bell. And that defense swarms on him, led by Pepper Johnson. 5-yard pickup.
That's the thing this Giant defense has been doing all day, is they have been swarming. They're good swarmers. The ball is there, and there's a bunch of blue jerseys around there.
Brings up 2nd and 5. Rams at their own 25. Clock running. Bell is out. Damone Johnson. Close to a first down. Almost beheaded by Carl Banks.
What's up? The guy fell here.
They're all yelling down there. He's down here. He's down here. They don't give him the first down.
Pepper Johnson.
But they did the same thing. The Giants are really trying to stop Pete Holohan, not let him get that possession pass. So they run Holohan a little deeper and then Damone Johnson underneath. The same type of thing the Giants were doing with Megat and Zeke Moab.
1st and 10. Rams have moved it up to their own 30-yard line. Here comes Bell. There he goes down in the arms of Eric Dorsey. A 3-yard loss.
Hey, you know what happens? Lawrence Taylor is lining up on that side. Watch him. And he comes, so he makes the cutback. So he makes the Rams cut back, and when they do, they cut back into Dorsey. But watch Taylor come from the top. He comes flat. Now, when he sees that, he has to cut back. He can't go outside. So when he cuts back, it's right into Eric Dorsey.
So a loss of 3 makes it 2nd and 13. Comes Taylor to the inside this time. The pass is out to Ron Brown. Out of bounds at the 37. Pickup of 10.
As you say, Taylor came to the inside and he drew a crowd. They're keeping a back in now to help stop them. The guard picked him up, and everyone kind of met where Lawrence Taylor is. Watch, Taylor starts here. He's going to come in here, and watch the crowd that he draws once he comes in. It's not free going in there. There's boom to center, boom to back, and the guard grabs him on the way down.
3rd and 3. Everett gets it out to Brown. And the Rams pick up another first down. Brown stopped by Collins, a gain of 11.
Sometimes Everett is just so quick with the ball. Watch, when that back foot hits, the ball's going to be gone. Boom, whack, right out of there. That's the thing that Ernie Zampese keeps coaching. The way he coaches Everett, he always stands back there right by him and says, let it go, let it go. He said on the Ram practice field, that's all you hear. Ernie Zampese saying to Everett, let it go, let it go.
That's the big adjustment he's made. There he is back to throw. Holohan. Stopped by Pepper Johnson. 8 of 8.
The other thing about Jim Everett is he's a streak passer. And he can get cold and go through some cold spells, but when he gets on a streak, he can really keep the thing going. And no one knows that better than this Giant defense.
He was on a cold spell when they had that losing streak in the middle of the year.
Remember against Minnesota, Chicago, and those teams. Then he got on the hot streak against these guys, the Giants.
2nd and 2. That's Delmore Johnson. Gets inside the 40. Taken down by Collins, but another first down.
I think we're starting to see one of these Everett streaks right now. That was 6 straight. And, you know, he just carries himself differently. He moves his feet differently. His eyes look different. And he's just a different quarterback when he gets this thing going. And right now, I feel he's getting it going.
Right now, he's not quite sure what they want.
Confusion's good.
Yeah. Clock running less than 5:20. He never was sure. Now he takes a timeout. The playoff game, 49ers.
That has to be tough for the 49ers. Well, it's not tough. I mean, they're still celebrating because they're in a championship game. But watching this game, you have no control over who's going to win, the Rams or the Giants. They're both tough teams. They're both tough teams for the 49ers. But who do you want to win? You know, and who are you going to play? And, well, in 5 minutes and 17 seconds of playing, they're going to know.
Maurice Carthon with a bruised knee, and it doesn't look like he'll be back.
No, he doesn't have his pants on anymore. He's sitting out there in long underwear or something. Can't play in underwear.
First down, Rams. The Giants 39. That's Holohan in motion. It's McGee. And Hubert McGee is down to the 25. Pepper Johnson finally tripped him up. A gain of 14. Good block by Anderson out in front.
I'll tell you who has to feel good over there is Newberry and Pankey. They come down, they make good blocks. They have a heck of a kick out. Jackie Slater came across and kicked out on Lawrence Taylor. That opened a big hole for McGee. Did you see that Slater come out there? That was a collision.
Now, of course, with the Rams at the 25, well within field goal range. There's Everett. He's going to take off with it. Slides at about the 11. Collins came over to hit him. And Everett was upset.
Everett looked like he tried to start a fight. Everett says he likes to play crazy. Well, borderline crazy.
They move the chains.
This is it. You see that big lane they give them? You got to stay in your pass rush lanes. When you don't, any quarterback can run like this. And if they slide feet first, you're not supposed to be able to hit them. That's what Everett's telling Collins.
Bell was behind Everett. Now 4 minutes remain. Flag on the play. Against the Rams. Bell only got 2 yards.
Holding. I'm sure the Giants are going to take that and put him back.
Illegal motion, 42 offense, penalty is declined, second down.
That wasn't holding, it was illegal motion, so it was a 5-yard penalty, and they really didn't have a game, so they turned it down.
Watch Bell.
That's who was moving. Again, he can move laterally, but he can't move forward. I don't know.
2nd and 8.
This is what it's all about, though. I mean, here we are in the 13-10, great defensive battle, guys hitting. The whole thing comes down right here.
Just under 4 minutes left. Bell to about the 5. Collins again made the stop. That'll bring up 3rd down.
I think that this is an area, this is not a running down situation, even though the Rams can make a 1st down. But I think that this is a pass situation. They have to pass. This has to be a passing situation for the Rams.
They take Bell out on 3rd and 3. The Rams in a huddle a long time.
If they don't complete it, I smell overtime.
Me too. Sure looks like it. Everett. This is nothing but confusion. The ball ricocheted off somebody. Gary Williams, I think. Incomplete.
The Giants are saying that the ball never hit the ground. We'll see if it does here. There's a deflection. It hasn't hit yet. It was on someone's back. Yeah, it was on Collins's back. That's what Collins was saying, that it didn't hit the ground, that it was off my back.
Another angle.
Do you look? It pops out here. It doesn't hit the ground yet. Now it's tipped there. Now Collins, 25, is going to come in. The ball hasn't hit the ground yet. It goes up his back.
It's on the ground.
Yeah, it was on the ground before it went up his back.
Right.
You're right. See there, it pops out. There it goes back. Collins is going to come in. And I think right here, it hits the ground before it goes up the back. I think that was an incomplete pass.
Bounced off Anderson first, then hit the ground, then bounced back up.
For the review, the play stands as called.
Well, we had to look at a lot of angles to see whether that one hit the ground or not.
Holohan will hold from 22 yards away for Lansford. This would tie it up with 3:05 left to play. And it's good. Tie score with 3 minutes, 1 second left. It's 13-13.
Playoff game. Loser, boom, out. Winner, whap, go to San Francisco. Championship game. Play against the defending world champions for the right to go to the Super Bowl. Can't get any better than this.
Absolutely correct. Megan and Ingram back deep. Ready for Lansford's kickoff. Heard it out of bounds with 2 minutes and 52 seconds Again, to summarize, Allegri got it started with a 35-yarder, then hit a 41-yarder. Giants led 6-0. The Rams got on the board in the second quarter to take a 7-6 lead. Otis Anderson from 2 yards away put the Giants back ahead, and Lansford has just tied it at 13. .252 left. Giants have all 3 of their timeouts left. The Rams have only 1. 1st and 10. Meggett split wide left. Manuel swings in motion, and Sims goes back to throw it. Screen pass to Anderson, read by Strickland. He was there quickly.
Hey, Fred Strickland is a big part of this Ram defense. He's the guy that plays linebacker, and then he plays up in the line. In fact, his position is nose backer. See, that's kind of half nose tackle, half linebacker. And that takes a special kind of guy, a guy that can move well enough to be a linebacker and big and strong enough to be a rush lineman.
When he was out during the middle of the year, they really missed him.
Yeah, he and Kelton are 2 inside guys, both missed. They felt that hurt their defense more than anything.
2nd and 18. Sims to throw. For Baker. Incomplete. Irvin was back with him, almost had the interception.
I'm sure the Giants think they could work on Leroy Irvin, but he isn't given an inch out there today.
We've got the 2-minute warning. With the game tied off, the Rams-Giants tied at 13.
I think this is a big play in this game, Pat. With 3rd and 18, the Giants, again, bad field position. You don't want to do anything stupid. You don't want to turnover here. You don't want to do something like you did just before the halftime. Your defense is playing well. So now what do? I think you have to take the conservative, safe approach. I wouldn't be surprised if they go to try and get it to Meggett underneath somehow.
Out of the shotgun. Meggett comes out of the backfield. Sims. Pass caught by Lionel Manuel. Boy, what a clutch catch and throw.
I'll tell you, that's the first completion to Manuel today, and Phil Sims' biggest pass of the season. Coming back here, getting that protection, zipping that ball in there, 3rd and 18. You usually don't have any plays that are going to pick you up 20 yards. But I'll tell you, that was a big play. That even makes the defense smile.
That was a 24-yard pass completion. On 3rd and 18.
This hasn't been one of Sims' best days, but that was one of his best passes.
Batted down again by Mike Peel.
The Ram defense has batted down more balls than I ever remember. Yeah, that's the second one that I remember Peel getting. I remember Alvin Wright getting one. Again, it's pretty good pass protection. They're just getting their hands up there and knocking those balls down. That's the 4th one that Sims has had today. I'll tell you, that 3rd down pass, Pat, that was one of the biggest plays that I've ever seen Phil Sims make.
2nd down and 10. He needs a couple more big ones. Pass quick out to Anderson. Hit right at the line of scrimmage. Another big 3rd down coming up. Michael Stewart up quickly.
I think
loosening.
Yeah, I think that Ram defense has that play down. That screen pass out there, they're not going to let that happen.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the New York Giants and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd and 10.
Again, the Giants have all their timeouts. The clock's running. They're going to have to take a timeout here.
30-second clock is running.
Yeah, they had to take the timeout. Phil Sims spent too much time over there talking about it, so they had to take the timeout.
A minute and 1 second left on the scoreboard. 13-13.
Now, this is still a big play for the Giants. It's not as big as that last third down because the last time they didn't have good field position. Here, they have good field position. Now, Bill Parcells is talking to Ron Earhart up above, trying to get that third down play.
Line of scrimmage is the 47-yard line. The Giants own 47. So, out of field goal range.
No one can come up when you want it. You know, you have all that time.
Yep.
You say, well, how about this? How about that? And then pretty soon you have to say, okay, shut up, everyone. What are we going to do? And Phil Simms still doesn't have it. When you get in these kind of games, with this much time in these situations, you want to make sure that everyone's on the same page.
1:01 left to play. Giants now with 2 timeouts left. The Rams with 1. Simms forced out of the pocket. Chase finally has to dump it. Kevin Green.
Oh, and that referee came very, very close to throwing a penalty for throwing the ball away. That time Kevin Green had him. He was right there on him. Phil Simms threw it. There was no one to throw it to. In fact, it looked like the closest guy was his right tackle, Doug Riesenberg. Watch this. He starts to run up there. He gets a good pressure from the outside, steps up. Now Green's chasing him, and he throws out there. The only guy out there is his right tackle. They could have called him on that one.
So Landeta and the Giants will have to punt it, and the Rams will get it. Right now, 54 seconds left. Out of bounds. Ellard and Irvin were back deep for the Rams. The ball goes out of bounds. Just inside the 20-yard line. 13-13 with 47 seconds remaining now. Tonight on CBS, a reminder.
And remember, in playoffs, the overtime is true sudden death. You just keep playing until someone wins. There's no quarters or anything like that, or any more periods.
Everett gives it to Buford McGee. Lawrence Taylor on the stop. The clock's still running. 2nd down and about 4. First down for the Rams. John Robinson signaling that he wants the timeout. That's their last one with 20 seconds left.
You know, the Rams are doing this drill that we saw them practice here yesterday. This is the same type of thing that they practiced, that 2-minute drill. It's ironic they practiced it going in this same direction. And Jim Everett took the team down the field without any timeouts. They simulated this situation on this field yesterday.
They're out of timeouts now with 20 seconds left. 13-13.
I think this is a tough thing, too, that the Rams don't want to do anything stupid here. I'm sure you're saying these are our plays, but don't force anything. You know, if you throw an incomplete pass, it's okay. If you take a sack, that's okay. But you can't take a turnover.
3 weeks in a row, the Rams have had to come back east, all the way across the country. New England, Philadelphia now here. 20 seconds left. Given a draw play to Buford McGee. McGee headed out of bounds, gets the first down with 14 seconds left. Stops the clock. 14-yard pickup.
And that was a heck of a run by McGee. 1 to get through there, 2 to pick up the first down, and 3 to get out of bounds and stop the clock. Because now the Rams are in a position that they can make a strike here. They can either strike for the end zone or they can strike for the sideline. But with no timeouts, they can't throw the ball inside.
We got their 3 wide receivers, the 3 speed guys to the right. Everett's going to take off with it. Gets a first down, but does not get out of bounds. That'll do it. scramble, and we head to overtime. It'll be just like starting another game. They'll go out with another coin toss, and they play till somebody wins. Two-minute break between overtimes. 3-minute break now at the end of regulation time. 3 timeouts per half, and it's 15-minute periods. First score wins. We'll be covering the coin toss when they get out there.
You know, and everyone thinks that it's a big thing, the coin toss, and we've studied this in the past, and it's about 50-50.
You would think that the coin toss would be very much a factor, since the first team that scores wins the game. Here it is, Carl Banks, Jackie Slater.
Two Warriors in the air. I will repeat what you said. What I repeat is what we're going with. Okay? Up it goes. There. Heads, he says. Heads. Who won the ball?
Rams won the toss. And you heard him say, Jackie Slater, we want the ball. There's that statistic John Madden was talking about. We are headed to overtime, tied at 13 between the Rams and the Giants.
And if this isn't a tired team, I don't know what a tired team is.
It should be.
This is a tired team that's just getting up, just playing amazing under these conditions.
Brown and Del Pino deep for Allegre's kickoff. Del Pino at the 10. Greg Jackson wraps up Del Pino. And last overtime game you saw just a second ago was the first. I remember it well.
Well, you played in that. I was looking at that in 1958, and that had to be when you were playing.
Yes. Nobody knew what to do when the game was over. Never heard of overtime. We were wandering around Yankee Stadium.
Did anyone walk into the house?
I don't think so.
Yeah. At least they had enough to stay out there. All these guys, they stay out there. They know this again. This is for the playoffs. The winner goes and plays San Francisco.
Here's Everett. Overhand to the 35.
You know, talking about the winner playing San Francisco, John Robinson said after they lost to the 49ers, he said they were so down, he had to think of something positive. So he told his team, okay, look, 4 more games, and we get these guys again. And that's kind of been their motto, is if they win 4 more games, they get to play the 49ers. Now they're just an overtime away from it.
They have a first down at the 35. Here's Everett. Ellard. Incomplete. Lawrence Taylor around the corner hit Everett just as he let it go.
Again, Everett gets rid of the ball so quickly that you can have a good pass rush, but the minute he gets down there, that ball's going. So the best thing you can do is make him throw it when he doesn't want to, and then hit him right after he throws it.
2nd and 10 at the 35. Holohan swings in motion. Taylor coming up the middle. Ellard takes the shot from Everett. Sheldon White made the stop, but another Ram first down.
Then I mean, Everett back here, back. The minute that back foot hits, that ball's gone. As Ernie Zampese tells him, let it go. So he gets back there, and boom, he lets it go to Henry Ellard. The Rams, I think, are showing amazing will here. I mean, they have to be tired, but the condition that they're in to play like this for as long as they have, this is something.
Here comes the giant blitz. Everett going for Anderson, incomplete. Flag on the play. Sheldon White is going to be called for pass interference. deep in Giant territory.
The whole season can be that play.
Bob McElwee, the referee. 27-yard penalty.
Pass interference, 39. First down.
First down, Rams.
Hey, that's what makes coaches old. Flipper Anderson going for the ball. Sheldon White going for the ball. I don't think Flipper Anderson would have caught this ball. I don't think that's interference. I think you have to let a guy cover a guy. You have to let a guy go for the ball. You can't make that kind of call in this kind of game.
First down, Rams. There at the 25. Bell hit right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Flag on the play.
Ball start, 78, before the snap. No play.
Jackie Slater, no play. They'll move it back to the 30.
Now, you 14-year veterans like Jackie Slater usually don't make mistakes like that.
If they had to try a field goal now, it would be, what, 47 yards?
It'd be 47 yards, and that's right at Lansford's range now. And in fact, John Robinson said he would feel more comfortable if he were inside of 40.
First and 15 for the Rams at the Giant 30. Everett going deep. Touchdown to Willie Anderson. And he doesn't even stop. He's headed for the locker room. The Rams win it. Anderson burned by Mark Collins. And this place got very quiet very quickly.
Flipper Anderson is from here. He's from New Jersey. I think he ran it up, caught that pass. He's going to go right home.
He never broke stride, just headed for the locker room. 19-13, and it will be the 49ers against the Rams.
Hey, and the Rams are one of the teams that have beaten the 49ers this year. The 49ers really, I think they probably know each other as well as you can, but this Ram team matches up well.
Let's look at that touchdown play again. Everett to Anderson.
Again, they're getting the pressure up the middle. That leaves one-on-one coverage outside because the Giants were in a blitz. Flipper Anderson just runs right by Mark Collins. Mark Collins really had a heck of a game all day.
Anderson could take somebody with him.
Like I said, he's from South Jersey. He's going to go home. Run the up. Collins looks over. Flipper Anderson, the fastest receiver on this Ram team, runs by him and takes it to the house. Hey, with what these Rams had to do to get to this championship game, this was a great effort. This was a story of will.
Yeah, they'll face the 49ers next week at Candlestick.
There's a guy who hung in there, Jim Everett. They were really knocking him around all day, and he stood in there, hung in there, and got the big play at the end.
So the final score is the Rams 19, the Giants 13. Stay tuned for the NFL Today's postgame show coming up next. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.